Hello, I want to talk to you today about conflict in the workplace. I know that's a touchy subject, but it happens. So let's talk about it. Conflicts in the workplace. Here are a few definitions. Parties clash because of incompatible goals. Negative interactions between workers' points of view that may be expressed aggressively. A serious disagreement that may lead to undesirable outcomes for one or both parties. Conflict. Here is my definition. Conflict in the workplace occurs when workers get mad. Their emotions are triggered. They could feel insulted. They could feel disrespected. They could feel unappreciated. Words may have passed between workers or groups that were rude and intentional. And now you have conflict. Here's some typical conflicts that can happen in the workplace. A conflict of interest. And that's when parties working together, one person is for the organization, the other person is planning and using the organization for their own goals. Conflict of interest. Conflict of personalities. Sometimes you just can't get along. The language is different. The person is insulting, or they speak to you with some kind of condescension, or you're not respected in the discussions. Your views are not being heard. So now we have some personality conflicts because we just can't get along very well. Or you can have conflict of purpose and task. When you are given an assignment to work with a team, some person work well, the other person don't. You're carrying too much of the load, and so you decide you won't carry the load, and now we have a conflict. And then there's that major statement, why are we doing this? Why can't we just do what we did before? Conflict of purpose or task. My experiences have provided me opportunity to be on both sides of the table. And what I have learned is that conflict of any kind and for any reason is a danger point in any group or in any organization and needs to be addressed because emotions have been triggered. Mahatma Gandhi, the leader of the revolution in India when they were seeking freedom from the British Empire, said this: if you take an eye for an eye, you will only make the whole world blind. If conflict continue, the only end is that the organization will suffer. So then, conflict in any situation should be approached carefully and rationally. At the point of conflict, there are two things that I think are paramount. Number one is you're at work. You're not at home, you're not with your family, you're not with your friends, you're not at a restaurant, you're not at a festival, you are at work. And you have expectations to fulfill, you have an assignment to complete, you made an agreement to work so that that organization or that group could prosper and do well. So you have a commitment that you have to honor. Secondly, is you are at a job that is providing your source of income. That is your current source of income. So then when emotions are triggered, we may forget that we need to work because this is our source of income. Now, we may look for other income, but right now, this is our source of income. So then we have to be rational. Now, there is no cookie cutter organization. Many organizations are very different. You may find an organization that really employs and enforces the rules, the procedures, the protocols. Then you may meet an organization where rules and protocol is just a gray area that's used to enforce on certain people at certain times, or just when the leader has a special desire. And now we're going to talk about the rules. I know. And then there are other groups that may only enforce the rules upon a condition. If there's nothing brought up, if nobody says anything, it's as if the rules don't exist. And then you may find yourself in an organization where the leader is very impressive. And so the leader may hear something or see something trendy and without any conversation begin to operate in that way. Or they may see an influencer and say, oh, you know what? I want to do what they're doing. And then you are there wondering, why? Why is this happening? Every organization is different. We must be mindful of our work environment. But after all of that consideration, we must take the responsibility to manage our own conflicts and handle them in the best and the most rational way. Terry Goodkind, who is an American novelist, said this: knowing when to fight is just as important as knowing how to fight. So then, what do, Dr. Cecile? Let me give you this. I had 3 alternatives as a leader and as an employee. Number 1, I could acquiesce. I could reluctantly, but I could accept the decision without any protest. I could just acquiesce. Number 2, I could compromise. I could talk, work out some agreement. It may not be exactly what I want to happen. It may not be the goal that I wanted, that I was trying to achieve, but it will make things peaceful and the job can get done and all can be well. Or number 3, I can retaliate. I can fight back. But not on my emotions, but rationally and reasonably. Find out the rules. What is the policy? What is the protocol? How did this fit? Was I in error? Who was in error? How did this fit? What can I do so that I can have a defense for myself and for my future? Those are the 3 choices that I have employed for most of my life, because in any conflict, I will have to be the one to decide how to respond. I recall my mother telling me, Cecile, you need to program your mind. And I took her word for it. And I have done that. Most of my life, I've shared that with my children. Program your mind. And I found out later on that she was really teaching me a biblical principle that is found in 1 Peter 1:13. It says, prepare your mind for action, being sober-minded. Let me encourage you. At times of conflict, if you are facing a conflict right now, or to proactively prepare for any possible conflict in the future, control your emotions. Then rationally consider, what is the outcome of this decision? Should I acquiesce? Should I compromise? Should I develop a rational defense for what has been attacked against me? There is a scripture in Romans 12:18 that reads this way: if it is possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Before you respond, consider your consequences and make a rational decision for your present day and for your future. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share. I'd appreciate it very much. And I'll see you next time.